My name is Alexandra McCallum and I'm the Program Coordinator at Youth Arts Queensland. Today I'm in Cairns for the Heyday Festival and I'm at the Young Company about to run some professional development workshops. You might have already watched my video about making your big career dreams happen. If you have, great. If you haven't, check it out. What I'm going to talk about now is finding money for your project. I talk to people all over the state about making their thing happen, whatever it is. And one of the biggest questions that I get is, I need some money to record an album, run an event, have an art exhibition, do professional development. Can you help me try and get money? So I want to talk today a bit about the things you need to know in order to get money. I'm going to cover grants and what they are, especially why grants are like asking your family for $50. I'm going to cover a little bit of extra stuff about other funding options. Grants are definitely not the only option. We're very excited at YAC about crowdfunding, and there's also sponsorship, which I won't be covering in detail just now, but just keep that in mind as an option. If you'd like more information, please give us a call at YAC. Don't be shy. Okay, so finding money. The first thing to know is that in order to find money, you need to know what you need money for. Now that sounds a bit stupid, right? You know what your project is, but you're actually going to need a lot of specific detail about what exactly resource-wise you're going to need, how much time, how many people you need to pay, what you can beg, borrow and steal, and what you need actual cash for. So the first thing, before you start reading grant guidelines and feeling like you're tied up in all kinds of bureaucratic language, is to work out what you need. You need to write down every possible thing you're going to need to do the project, including people's time. You need to factor in how much of that is going to need to be paid for and how much you can beg and borrow and steal, right? Okay, so once you've got this shopping list, you might have a few things on it that you think, well, I know I'm going to have to hire a camera, so you write down hire camera. I'm sorry to tell you that that's not quite enough information, not yet. What you really need to do is find out exactly how much that's going to cost. And how do you do that? Well, you call people and you get quotes. A lot of people that I speak to hesitate to call up and get quotes before they know whether they're going to have money from somewhere or not. I mean, isn't that a hassle? You ring a hire firm, maybe you'll hire later, maybe you'll decide to work on a completely different project and you won't do it. So I'm here on the internet to tell you not to worry about it. What you need to do is act as if you've already got the money. You don't need to tell them that you've already got the money, but tell them that you're planning for a project and you'd like to get a quote. Little secret, this is what people running businesses do. Not all of their clients, whether they're big corporate clients or little arts events, end up coming through to becoming a proper customer. They give quotes all the time in the hope that you're going to hire their camera, and it's the starting of a building of a relationship. So find out exact amounts of money for everything you're going to be able to pay for, and then you'll know the best way to find that money. Without a ballpark figure, say is it a project that's going to cost $500 or $5,000, you won't know where to go for that money, because different amounts of money are easier to find in different ways. Now, when people think money for arts projects, a lot of people think of grants. It's worth taking a second to step back from the millions of grants that are out there to talk about what a grant actually is. A grant is an amount of money either from the government or from a private philanthropic foundation that pays for your project because they love your project and they love what it does. And your project helps them to meet their aims, what they already do as a government department, what they already want to do as a private philanthropic foundation. So you have certain things that are important to you about the project, and they might have certain things that are important to them about the project. For example, you might just see it as putting on a great gig, and they see it as your city having a vibrant cultural life. Sometimes those things don't sound exactly the same, but often they are. Grants require you to be really specific in your project planning. Who is involved? Why are they awesome? What is going to happen? What are going to be the benefits of your project now? Benefits for you, benefits for the community, and later on in the project, what are the benefits that will keep going after your project is over? I often say that all grants are kind of telling the same story, which is, this is what I've done in the past, which has prepared me and made me an awesome person to run this particular project, to do this professional development, or to do anything that you're writing a grant about. This is the specific benefits I'm going to get straight away, and these are the benefits that will be ongoing. Give me the money. That's pretty much what every grant is. Now, if you imagine going to your parents when you were, say, 13, 14 and saying, hey, can I have $50? They're going to say, what for? And you might say, oh, go to the movies. And they might say, you don't need $50 to go to the movies. That's crazy. You need maybe $15, bit extra for chocolate. Grants are kind of similar. They need to know specifically exactly what the costs are for and what benefits they're buying with those costs. Now, I want to talk a little bit about other sources of funding. One of them is crowdfunding. It was made particularly famous by Barack Obama, who used it a lot in his election campaigns to get tiny amounts of money from lots of different people to run advertising and make sure he could get elected. Now, a lot of artists I talk to are hesitant to run a crowdfunding campaign because they think, it's just like begging to my friends for money. That's embarrassing. I don't want to do that. Let me tell you, if you're thinking that right now, then I'm really glad. Because a crowdfunding campaign that sounds like you're begging people for money is not going to work. Crowdfunding campaigns are all about people understanding how fantastic you are and wanting to have a part of that success. If you're a musician or an artist, they might also see it as an opportunity to pre-purchase your album, pre-purchase your ebook, or buy some art. In my experience of supporting people around crowdfunding campaigns, there are two things that are really valuable to people. One is artistic experiences, backstage experiences that they might not have had otherwise. People are really willing to buy those things, particularly people who don't work in the arts. Please don't make the assumption that you just need to promote it to other young people who are also creative. Those young people maybe don't have as much disposable income as their friends and families and aunties and uncles who are a bit older, who work full time, and who secretly want a bit more art in their life. So if you can create a backstage experience for those people, they are going to love to buy it. The other thing that people really like, apart from pre-purchasing albums or other artwork that you're about to sell, is that they really like quirky prizes. Sillier the better. So if, for example, you're running a crowdfunding campaign for you to go to Darwin to do a residency, then maybe you want to get some of your friends to give you their little toys, which you pack in your luggage and take photographs of them when you take a side trip to Litchfield National Park. That kind of stuff, a postcard from somewhere exciting, that's really great too. You do also have another funding option. We've just been talking at Yak to some people who do social lending, low interest loans and no interest loans for artists. This is not like grants and crowdfunding, it needs to be paid back, but it's a really good option to check out, and if you want more information, you should check our website. So, what would I recommend as far as any of these funding sources are concerned? Make sure you have all the details. Make sure you give yourself enough time. Especially with grants, there are two important dates. One is the due date, and the other one is the date that you're allowed to start the project. They need to give themselves some time to find out if they're successful. If you don't have much time in your timeline, then maybe crowdfunding is going to work better for you. In the end, please don't get tied up in thinking that only if you get a particular grant, or only if you get your crowdfunding campaign successful, or only if you have a specific prize and win the prize money, is your career going to be awesome. Making it happen in an arts career is all about thinking about the results that you want. In the end, it doesn't matter too much whether you get the money from a grant or a crowdfunding campaign or a social loan, as long as you make the project happen in the way that you want it to happen.